Hi guys! This week we are talking about our favorite quotes in anime, and I have a lot given what I look for in anime, which is social commentary or series that make me think about the world. And with that being said, most of that happens through dialogue. So if I told you every single quote that I absolutely love from anime and told you why, we would be here forever. I'm just spare you guys the time and just talk about a few. The first one that popped into my head was actually from Gundam Wing, and it was said by Wu Fei, which is kind of weird because I'm not a big Wu Fei fan. Not that I dislike him, but out of everybody in the series, well, all of the Gundam pilots, he's probably my least favorite. Um, because he annoys me frequently throughout the series. But this one line really does say something, not just about his character, but about the series itself and the way that you're kind of supposed to view the series, which is I need to determine for myself whether or not peace at the expense of lives can really be defined as peace, and I will become evil itself to find out. Humanity did not change. Although all enemies were defeated, Earth did not change one bit. What I love about that quote, there's a lot I love about that quote. There's a lot being said in that one tiny line. And really, I love that scene. If you ever go back to the one where we talk about our favorite scenes in anime, I believe that's number one. If it wasn't then, it certainly is. I don't know what I was thinking if it wasn't number one. That exchange between Hiro and Wu Fei is probably my favorite exchange in all of anime. And it's just because both of them are fighting for the same thing. And I'm not going to give away too much, but they're both fighting for the same thing, but they're just not seeing eye to eye at the time. And what this line really is it's a moment in Wu Fei's life where he's kind of at a breaking point. He's at this moment in his life where he's realizing that everything that they're doing is wrong because they're fighting in order to obtain peace. And is that really peace? Or is that fear? Are they just going to fear the Gundam pilots, or are they actually going to obtain this peace, this true peace? And he's becoming evil to find out. You guys can kind of guess what that means. I'm not going to give away too much, but I will say that he becomes evil, as he says in the quote. The other thing I love about this quote, the other big thing that I love about this quote, is the is what it means. I mean, it's telling you what Gundam Wing is about. It's essentially telling you that in order for there to actually be peace, society needs to change their views. It doesn't. You can kill all the evil people, all of the evil people that you can. You can fight and destroy all the bad guys. But at the end of the day, unless society changes their views, as long as society wants the peace, there won't be peace. Which is just a really kind of interesting way to look at it. It's not about good versus evil. It's about human conflict. And that's what's awesome. And that kind of goes into another quote that I like that's said throughout Gundam Wing, usually by the narrator, I think only ever by the narrator. And that is, as long as mankind exists, there will always be battle. Same concept. Because humanity needs to change their views. And being that Wu Fei saying, all enemies were defeated, but Earth didn't change. So Earth is still the same bad people in his viewpoint that they always were. And so it's just really cool. It's really cool. Another one I like from Gundam Wing is one from Duo, who is my favorite character. So we go from my least favorite Gundam pilot to my favorite Gundam pilot. And my favorite quote from him is from the same time period, which is, let's only take the weapons and war itself along with us to hell, which is kind of the same concept, only just a different light, a little bit more optimistic, where Duo is kind of also at this breaking point, saying, I don't want to kill anybody anymore, so in this battle, let's make it be that there is no casualties, and if there are casualties, they have to be our own, and if we're going to die, we're not going to die in vain, we're going to take battle with us. So they just want to destroy the mobile suits. They don't want to kill anybody. They just want to end it. They want to destroy all weapons, and in the case that they die, they're at least taking war with them to hell. It's just a really cool line, and it's always stuck with me. It's always been my favorite Duo line from the beginning of time. From Now and Then, Here and There, I really like this one quote that Shu says a few times, But one of the ones that's kind of the most um, emotional, I guess, is the one where he says it in the middle of the series. And he's telling this to a person absolutely nothing left good in her life. And she's just at this point where she just doesn't want to live anymore. And Shu is trying to talk sense into her and says, I truly believe that as long as you have your life, good things are bound to happen. And I love this line because while Shu unrealistically stays completely innocent through what happens to him throughout the entire series, he can still hold on to that optimism that good things are still going to happen. At this point in the series, I mean, he's hit rock bottom as well, and he can still hold on to that innocence. And I think that that's something that is just so cool about Shu. Mostly because Shu isn't really the important piece of the story, it's Shu's experience. And the fact that Shu can still remain so innocent, it's just really cool. I like that series so much. Another one from that series, probably the most emotional line ever, and it's just because of the context of the line, which I'm not going to get into, but if you've seen Now and Then Here and There, you probably know, if you remember this line, it's from Sis, and she's talking to the same person that she was talking to before, which might give away part of the storyline, but oh well. Sorry. She says, another one from that series, probably the most emotional line ever, and it's just because of the context of the line, which I'm not going to get into, but if you've seen Now and Then Here and There, you probably know, if you remember this line, it's from Sis, and she's talking to the same person that she was talking to before, which might give away part of the storyline, but oh well. Sorry. She says, don't hate the baby. You can hate the man who did this to you, but no child ever comes into this world wanting to be rejected by its mother. That line made me cry because of the context that was going on in the series at the time, and the fact that Sis has chosen this moment, and it was Sis that said it. Just meant a lot. So much. It was such a great line. That is all. One of my favorite lines from Yu Yu Hakusho is actually from Poltergeist Report, the movie. That's said by my favorite character, Hiei. And that is, there is no one that doesn't carry, I'm not going to get this right. There is no one that does not carry scars on his heart. If there were such a person in the world like that, he would be a shallow soul. Sorry if I did not get that perfectly right, but that's kind of the gist of it. I love that line mostly because when I first watched Poltergeist Report, I wasn't at the greatest place in my life. So, kind of having Hiei, my favorite character, almost grieve with me, I guess. I don't know. I don't know how to really put it. But having Hiei kind of relate to me in that moment really meant a lot because I love Hiei. So, let's do it from Gundam 00, shall we? I haven't talked about Gundam 00 yet. My favorite line from Gundam 00 is actually not from my favorite character, not even from my second favorite character. It's from Neil. Says it a few times throughout the series. And those of you who have watched Gundam 00 probably know what line I might be talking about. And he's saying it to Setsuna. He says, Setsuna, you'll have to change. I couldn't, so you'll have to do it for me. I love that line for multiple reasons, again, but most of which I can't talk about why. So we're just gonna move on. One of my other favorite lines from Gundam 00 comes from my favorite character, Setsuna, which is, I'm not gonna let that happen. Again, in context, it makes a lot more sense. But, and I'm not going to say it the way it's supposed to because otherwise it sounds kind of cheesy. But the build up to that moment where he screams that and what happens after, probably the most epic moment in Gundam 00. And it's just awesome. One from Wolfwood from Trigun, which is one of my favorite lines. Probably my favorite line in Trigun is, we are nothing like God. Not only are our powers limited, but sometimes we are driven to be the devil himself, which is an amazing line. It's an amazing line. Because it's so true. All of it. Just every ounce of that line is just true. Our powers are limited. We're nothing like that, you know? And in our quest to be that, we become a devil. And it's just a really cool line. This is 10.5 minutes raw, so I think I'm just gonna leave it at that. And Tori, we will see you tomorrow.